Hello and welcome back to PAX Unplugged. Jason from the Dice Tower here with David Hoppe, who is the president of GenCon. Welcome to the show.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks.
So, last year's GenCon was 50. It was just a fabulous event, huh?
Yeah, it was obviously one of the best ever. I mean, things went swimmingly from our side. Exhibitors, attendees, everybody had a great time. It was really a terrific show.
Yeah, I mean, we had a blast out there. Interesting enough, it was the first year where you had sellouts. They always said GenCon never sells out, and to hear that there were days that were sold out. Tell me about this. What happened? Were you expecting this much crowd?
Well, you know, we've always been pretty close to capacity for the last couple of years, but when we started looking at the rate at which badges were selling in the spring and we started projecting that forward, we were suddenly like, oh my God, this is going to be bigger than anything we've ever had before. So we unfortunately had to put a cap on it. I mean, I didn't want to do it, but otherwise it would have just been totally overrun. But given that we did that, you know, it actually wound up really helping us because, you know, crowds were manageable. I mean, it was full, it was busy, it was exciting, but we weren't completely overrun as well.
Yeah, you also had that new area in the stadium. I went out to the stadium and was just overwhelmed by being on the field. Did you always have that in the plans, or that just became overflow due to the people?
Well, we've intended to take advantage of that space, right? In 2016, we started using some of the meeting space there, and then with the museum for GenCon 50, it was a great opportunity to, you know, put something there that would draw people out. I don't think we anticipated how exciting it would be just to be there on the field, right? And to bring gaming into an NFL stadium was really, really cool. So, and a lot of people wanted to come and just, you know, check out, touch the AstroTurf, really, which was really fun as well. But we're going to continue to use that space. We've got plans to make it better, more exciting. You know, it's a really fun part of the show, and it's a different atmosphere. It's big and open, but it's also quiet in kind of a strange way. So we've got a lot of things that we want to go do there.
Yeah, I said to Tom, I said, next year we have to do the Dice Tower live show. Forget about using the 500 ballroom. We want to do it in the stadium and have people in the stands, get 80,000 fans to watch our show.
Well, we could talk about that, right? I think that would be really fun to have a big thing out there.
No, I think it would too. So now that you're moved past 50 and you're moving into 51, the next step of it, what are your plans for GenCon?
Well, you know, the big thing that we need to do is keep up with what's happening in the hobby game and tabletop industry. I mean, I think, you know, the things that you see with Kickstarter and board games growing at this tremendous pace, you know, with a show like this here, we see a lot of people who are coming into cons for the first time. I think a lot of people here have never been to a convention before and are relatively new to tabletop gaming. So we need to both, you know, bring those kinds of people into GenCon as well, so that the hobby continues to grow and GenCon continues to grow. And at the same time being, you know, respectful and, you know, paying attention to our legacy and for our long-term attendees and folks who have been a part of the show for ages, right? So, you know, finding that right balance and then also, you know, continuing to grow. I'd love to bring more people in, and we want to, you know, figure out exactly how to program the weekend so that we don't have, you know, massive crushes of people at any given point in time, and everyone can still have a good time while coming.
Yeah, I mean, are you planning to stay in Indy for a long time? Have you signed a long contract? Are you looking for maybe a space that could hold more as you grow?
Yeah, well, we really like Indianapolis right now. You know, there's so many things that happen there where we can kind of create this urban village and all the connected hotels. It's really a good spot for us. I mean, you know, we're always on the lookout for the next best thing, but it's got to be just the right mix, and that's kind of hard to find. Philadelphia is awful nice, though. I think they've done a good job here. I have to credit them.
That's very true. So you were speaking about the board games and the legacy. It's interesting because obviously GenCon started as a role-playing convention for you know, Dungeons and Dragons and everything, and now it's morphed into, there's still a big role-playing presence, but there's obviously a huge board gaming presence now, and it kind of expanded.
Yeah, and don't forget TCGs, right? That was a big part. So, you know, I think that's one of the things that GenCon's been able to do really successfully over the years, which is, you know, sort of adapt to the time and the things that are happening in the industry, and that's what we need to keep doing. Streaming, as we're doing right now, that's another big part of the business and the experience and what's happening, and we've been a little bit behind in that, so I think I want to I want to do more there so that we can bring more of these types of things to the show as well, so that more people can experience it, even if you can't make the trek all the way to Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, well, I did a lot of coverage out there, and hopefully we'll be able to do more coverage out there. The Dice Tower loves covering these events, and we'll be there for sure at GenCon next year, GenCon 51, doing lots of stuff.
Yeah, well, let's talk, because we can hopefully help you out, make it bigger, better, and help it to reach more people, right? Because that's really what I'd love to do.
Well, you have the most people in the U.S., even more than Essen. We go to Essen, and you're the biggest convention of this style. Obviously, Comic-Con's bigger, but you are the biggest.
Yeah, and I hope that we're the best, right? So I want to continue to push the envelope on that front, so that people don't ever hesitate. I mean, part of it is it's the overall experience of how you get there and what you're able to do, and that's probably the biggest challenge that we face. Like, can we bring 60,000 plus people into Indianapolis and make sure that everybody has a good time, can play games? You don't have to wait in line. You don't have to deal with any other kinds of hassles. That's sort of the holy grail, right, for getting everything right for people.
Yeah, no, it sounds like GenCon has a great future ahead, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, 51 and beyond, there's no reason to think that it's going to stop or continue to grow. So, yeah, I'm really excited about where things are going.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, happy to be here. Happy to do it anytime.
Perfect. That's David Hoppe, again, the president of GenCon, here with me, and this has been Jason Levine with another Dice Tower interview coming from PAX Unplugged.